Hello, I'm Jacqueline. I am PSPA's facilitator for our online carers support group. Um, we have been supporting carers throughout the 30-year history of PSPA, but back in the spring of 2022, PSPA really wanted to do some more, given that online has become a useful way to people to communicate and get together, especially our carers for those with PSP and CBD who are often really isolated. We thought it'd be great to be able to use computers and phones to connect people together in regular sessions. So PSPA held a pilot group which was attended by around about 80 carers, which was fantastic. And it felt like an endorsement of the idea. So coming then into April 2022, we decided to set up a pilot for 3 months, splitting areas up into our 4 regions across the UK, to invite people to come along to our sessions online. What we found was that the majority of carers um, uh, felt that meeting in the evenings was actually a lot easier, even though might be tired after a long day. It just meant that people could perhaps more routinely come along and be a part of the sessions rather than in the daytime have extra appointments coming in, people coming round, or might be visiting loved one in care home. So what we did was we decided to have 4 evening carers groups, which is what we still do, in our 4 different regions across the UK. But we also have a daytime session for people who can't make it. We try and vary the days of the week that each of these groups are on, again, to enable people to come along. One of the most rewarding things about the groups has been that sometimes, not often, but sometimes people have been able to find there are others actually quite local to them or within a distance that they're able to also get together independently. So numerous times I have been able to connect people up in that way, which has been really wonderful. I remember the first meeting, somebody said, "Oh, there's nobody at all in Cornwall who will, who's got PSP or CBD that I know of. Don't think there's any carers." And then somebody I said, "I'm there," and actually they weren't too far apart in Cornwall and still meet up today for that mutual kind of support. So the groups themselves, we tend to have a pattern where there's a theme of the month. Sometimes we might have guests in that we've invited. Those might be other staff within PSPA. For example, we have a regular month each year that we'll dedicate to a research update to provide carers with understanding of different opportunities that they or their loved one might be able to get involved in, but also what's happening in terms of moving forward towards better treatment and better outcomes for people with PSP and CBD. Other times we might have external people come in. We've had people coming in to do sort of relaxation and exercises with carers that they might be able to slot in within day-to-day life, because we know that it's quite difficult to look after yourselves a lot of the time, of course. We also pick up themes from groups. So whenever something's coming up regularly, then I try to add that into the programme. So, for example, I had a number of groups where people were talking about issues related to how they provide medication to their loved ones. So earlier this year, we had a month on medication for carers, the information that might be useful to know. We also had, a lot of people talking about falls prevention, particularly, and what could be done, and the difficulty between balancing, someone's safety, but also their personal independence. So we had a month on falls prevention for carers. Again, always trying to look from the carer's perspective about what might be useful to know and understand. But it isn't just that we might have guests and we have themes of a month. The majority of each session is dedicated to carers sharing their ideas, their thoughts, um, things that have worked, things that aren't working, are challenges, and that they would like others uh, to be able to share of their experiences. Perhaps they might be a little bit further along the line with their loved one with PSP or CBD, and they've got some good advice. And we have that real strong sort of discussion kind of time where people are able to identify with each other, to not feel so isolated, to realise that what's going on for them isn't cool within the community of people living with and caring for those with PSP and CBD. And I think, to me, that's the heart of what our carer support groups are about. It's about getting together, being in the company of others who are under, similar circumstances, and being able to support, encourage, and provide ideas for things that might make life a bit easier. Sometimes it's very practical. We often have people doing what I call show and tells. So we've had people, come in, oh, I've got this new bit of equipment, this new bit of kit, this is how it works, show on the screen. Sometimes we'll have people who carry particular types of information on them because it can be very difficult to put across to professionals, and other sort of wider family and loved ones what PSP and CBD are. So there's folks who carry various kind of cards or bits of information or things that might go up behind a hospital bed or be shared with others in various ways. So we've had people share those. So we really do have quite a variety of what gets covered in terms of topics. We also have, I would say, a real range of people who come along to the groups. So you've got everybody from those who have been misdiagnosed and just discovered the diagnosis of PSP or CBD, or those who are newly diagnosed freshly, and the whole arena of being in the clinical situation, and all these changes with loved one happening. Right through to people who are all different stages, those whose loved ones are still mobile and they're able to get out, those who aren't mobile anymore. Some loved ones, folks, are bedbound, others will be in care facilities like nursing homes. So you'll find a range of carers. So the groups that I tend to run are the general 5, so the 4 evenings and the 1 daytime, 1 a month. But we also have a men's carer support group each month as well, which is very popular. And we are launching in the new year in 2025, specific group for carers whose loved ones are in care homes in different places, either close by to them, or they may be unable to visit regularly, or carers who are at distance from their loved ones who are in care home, and looking at the kind of things that might be able to do to support, the influence can have on staff there, and looking at the work that PSPA can do to go into care homes and help educate and support and build awareness with care managers and key workers. So excited about that. That's new for next year. We're also looking at supporting former carers, and we've got ideas for establishing another new session, and piloting that with people who have cared for their loved one and they have now sadly passed away. So we're trying to support volunteers right across. We're trying to support carers right across the spectrum. sometimes I have volunteers in mind because there's so much that carers contribute to each other. They almost sometimes feel like, they've got that voluntary support role. But really, we just want to make sure that carers are not isolated, that we are providing a range of what's required. So I always say to people, come and go as you need to. 2 hours can be a long time. You could have had a very long day, or if you come to a daytime group, you might have other things that you need to do, and that's okay. People come and go as they need to. It doesn't matter. People have got domiciliary care workers coming knocking on the door at certain times halfway through the group. People need to get up. If they're having their dinner and turning the screen off, if they're supporting someone, to go to the loo midway, it doesn't matter at all. We just ask people to be at ease and just to enjoy being with others, and use the group as you would like to. So please feel free to join us. We are there regularly, monthly. If you would like to, then please do either phone our PSPA helpline or contact us by email through our website. Telephone or email, either way, we will be able to then put you on our list and send you out invites for meetings, and hope to see you there soon.